Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming, playing Phoenix Point. Once again, I've just played on this video, or the game from the last video, to the point where our soldiers are healed, because that's literally just us staying in the base waiting. It doesn't take that long, but there's no point in you watching while I'm doing that. And so a few things before we do the Pandoran nest mission, which I was going to do from the last video. Firstly, I'll show you again how you level up people. So there's all our soldiers all healed, and then you've got this one, the little yellow cross that indicates someone's got something to level up, and there you go onto the bit at the bottom where it says training, and the thing where it says soldier SP, that's your new points. Phoenix SP is overall points that you have to spend on anybody, so you can use those points on this soldier or anyone you want, and you'll get those from different missions, and they can build up, or you can use them all the time just when you get them. So you can either level up these three things, which I think I've shown you before, or you can now, because we've got past the initial leveling up, you've got these other options which all cost SP, and some of, close quarters specialists can be useful. Gain mounted weapon proficiency, dash can be good, return fire. So out of these, the one that I would pick, but again it's all personal choice and I'm not saying this is the best one, is return fire, because obviously it is what it is. You return fire when someone shoots at you, and as people are always shooting at you, that can be good. So we'll take that for 15. Then we'll use the others on willpower, and we won't use any of our specific extra points yet because we might want them for something else. So there, everyone's leveled up, that's all good. We go back to this. Few more things I want to show you is this thing called Chaos Syndicate. It's a sort of a black market, like it would be an XCOM. So you can go here and you can buy sometimes a lot of things, there's sometimes less things. They're very expensive things, but they can be good. The weapons, they change all the time, by the way, and even the same thing can be slightly different stats. But the weapons often explode at some point, so they can be good. They do very good damage. You can see that. That's very good damage for this stage in the game, for what we've got, and it's good. But often their weapons don't need ammunition, which is also very good, so that's another reason to get these things. But they do tend to go wrong in the end and blow up, so be aware that you're often spending the money, especially for the weapons, not the buggies. I don't think they blow up. I've never bought a buggy from here, but the weapons do blow up at some point, or often they do. So it's not short term, they don't blow up after 3 uses, but it's not a long term all game thing you're buying. You're buying a thing that has limited use usually, and you can't replicate it later by reverse teching it, so you're just buying it and you can go and buy another one. You can do a mission for these, I think, later, where you can get things cheaper, but it's not amazingly cheap. So if you look at the price of these things compared to how much money, well, I call it money, how much resources we've got, the orange thing, it's a lot. Yes, we could do it, but it's a lot of resources, and if the person that's carrying that gets killed, you lose the weapon. So as you are there, you can, there's a mission there, which means you can get lower prices, but it's lower from that. It's not going to be 200 resources, it's going to be like 1,100 instead of 1,600. So that's that. We won't buy that now. The other thing I want to show you is all these faction havens. They sometimes have these little icons there of a little person in orange next to it, and next to that there's a little orange sign that shows you what they do. And if you go to you have to physically go there in your ship. If you go there, it will show you. You can see what's there without going there, but if you want to go there, you can actually recruit one of their soldiers. And as you can see from the cost, it's a lot less resources. Okay, you're paying food and you're paying some tech. The tech's not much actually, the blue one is tech. But you get a person that's already armoured and got a weapon. So if you have the choice. I would personally go for, I'll actually take that one. So we've got that person, and it will say we can't put them in our ship because we've already got 6 people, so we'll send them to our base. And I would say always take the person unless you've got overwhelming resources, because a weapon's good but it can go wrong and the person using it can get killed, whereas you've got an extra person who's completely ready to go. So I'll just show you in our personnel, and we've got this person who's completely ready, gun in hand, ready to go, no need to spend any. So it's actually a really good deal, because to make up that armour for a new person that we got from our recruits and make up a weapon, that's going to be a lot of resources. So it's a really good deal actually, and especially this is just an assault which we've got, but later on you can get these different factions have some very different, all of them have very different types of recruits that we can't even make. So yeah, you can get heavies and you can get snipers and you can get assault, but you can get some ones that are stealth, you can get some kind of tech ones, there's lots of different ones. So that I would say is a thing to always check out. So we're very low on food now, but never mind. So I think we're going to go and do our Pandoran nest mission. I'll just see who we've got, because now we actually have somebody we can change. So if you want to swap out somebody, and we have somebody, I can't remember who it was. We have this one who's not got any armour. We actually have got armour, so if I just show you there, we've actually made the armour for them now. So we'll armour them. But we've got 2 heavies, and that one's got a kind of gun, so I think we'll send that one there, and we'll use our new shiny new person. If you wanted to, you can customize them. So if you wanted the armor to be a different color, or her hair actually, because her hair's blue, but if you wanted that armor to be a different color, so she fitted in with there you go, you've got a whole different thing. But so you can call your soldiers the same. She's not quite the same, but that's fine. I find in most games, like it's nice to have the people that have got a different thing, or either high spec or different. Sometimes give them a different colour. So when they're on the, especially with these small characters in the battle map, it's nice to be able to see which one's which, because obviously you can't see their faces. So with her, we'll just make her a bit more. I like that colour. Yeah, I like that colour. Okay, we'll make her a green colour. So then we've got another yellow. Yellow was a bit too bright. So then you can pick her. So we'll know that she's the one we got from the other faction, and that one we just made green because we were experimenting, but never mind. So now we'll go to the nest, which is there. It's a little red thing. It'll always show you where it is. The mist's always around it. And I'll show you a Pandoran nest. And there it is. This continuous attack. They keep spawning in, but they spawn in from lots of places in different missions, so that's not unusual. If we kill off the nest, as you can see, all the factions like us more, because they would do, because nobody wants the Pandorans, even if they don't like each other much. And so it is what it is. So there you go. We'll do that. We've got everybody set up as best we can. And again, like I said, this game is a very sharp turn as to how difficult it can get. It starts off being XCOM-y. You can kind of do what you need to do pretty quickly, and your soldiers and the enemy, whether they're enemy from enemy havens or whether they're Pandorans or outlaws, whoever they are, they're usually pretty balanced. And then pretty fast the other factions start developing their tech, and they can usually outdevelop us unless we're stealing tech or aligning. So you really need to get tech from other factions, whether it's aligning with them or allying with them or stealing it. And the Pandorans, like I've said before many times, they level up very fast, and long before you've got anywhere close to it, they've got much higher level of not just weapons, and they've got just different enemies that are much more difficult to kill, and it gets to a point where it's very, very difficult. So you have to enjoy the beginning of this game. It gets much worse. Not worse, well, yeah, worse. I think when I play XCOM, and I'm going to play XCOM maybe next, just do a little playthrough so I can highlight the differences, because I talk about it so often. I'm sure there's some people who haven't played it. There you go, different Pandorans. They always tell you if there's new variations. Yeah, I think with XCOM, I kind of always look forward to the process of levelling up, the armour, the weapons, because you know that you'll get at least level, and usually I find you get ahead of the Advent troops, and you get to a point where it's easier for you than them. But with this, it's the opposite. You kind of need to enjoy the beginning, because then it gets harder for you. So, okay, with a Pandoran there, it's one of those gun things. Oh, it's called a gunner. Yeah, that's original. So, we can move different people. We'll do some shooting. As you can see, this, I'm not sure if that's things there. As you can see, they're a bit, they're not big. None of this game's battle areas are Phantom Doctrine, Necromunda, Underhive, or XCOM like. There's not huge areas to go around to find it, but they've got all these little passages, and they're a bit like, it's similar in design to kind of how the faction bases are and how the scrapyardy things look. There's like a certain area, and it's all a play area. It's not like XCOM where you're trying to get to a place in the beginning, but there's lots of different passages and different ways around. If you can imagine, you've seen the faction bases, you know, this could just as easily be you know, a building with roads, but they're all this kind of thing where you have to run around to try and get to somewhere and find somewhere, and you're never quite sure exactly where the enemies are going to be, so they're quite challenging. And again, there's no stealth, and there's no phantom like there is in Phantom, where you can, is it called Phantom, where you, in XCOM, where you have a soldier who's not seen until they get seen, and even if the rest of the squad are revealed, you're not revealed. So there's nothing like that in this, at least not at this point. So you're all there, and you've got to face the music. So another thing to bear in mind, especially in these nests, and I've just thought of it myself, is they're bottlenecks often. So for example there, that's going to be hard for people to get through, because this person's standing there, and if that person remains there, it's quite possible that the other people won't really be able to get through properly. So sometimes you, even if you don't really want to, you kind of have to move, because you can't have two people standing in the same place. Okay, that's the thing you want to be killing. It's the thing that's kind of nest sentinel. It's what you have to kill in these nests. They are not impossible to kill. They're not really difficult. They do also evolve later on, but as it goes, and as this one is, they're not impossible to kill. But once you shoot them, they start releasing other things. So you want to kind of kill them off in one turn if you can. I would suggest you use snipers or heavy weapons. I mean, you can always use assaults to finish them off, but if you can shoot them with snipers, that's always better. So that's the things we want to kill. There's sometimes two, there's never usually one. There's sometimes two. I've known there to be three. So, okay, this one, again, we just put people in different places. No, just go there.
Here I come.
And there's that sentinel thing. It's hatching sentinel, so as it says, it hatches eggs, so that's not what you want, so you need to kill it, which is what I just said. You need to kill it before it does it, and that's difficult, especially because this thing came up very quickly, so we didn't have the chance to sort of prepare, because it was just around the corner. Sometimes it would be, for example, it might be right down there, and then you see it and you've got the time to prepare like 3 or 4 people to shoot it. But in this situation, it was around the corner, and the first time we knew about it was when one of our guys triggered it, so there's not much we can do. So take a shot at that. I think we hit that. Yeah, we hit that. That shot was a bit rubbish, so I'm guessing you were too far back. I didn't really look properly, to be honest. She's got a sniper shot which won't be too far back, so we'll have that. Yep, right in the head. And that thing disappears. Those ones are very annoying. There's I think it's that one. There's one that I'm not sure if it's got the ability yet, but it paralyses you. It fires a small kind of dart thing. I can't remember whether it's a dart gun or it just fires a dart thing from its body, but it fires a dart thing and it paralyses you. And what happens then, and that's something to be aware of, is it paralyses your soldiers to a point that they actually can't do anything, literally. They're just stuck in one place. They might be able to move like 2 or 3 squares, but they haven't got enough action points to do anything, and they haven't got enough action points to run away. And so that can be a thing you really want to look out for. So that's heavy, so that can't do much. So the heavy, where is the heavy? Yeah. We're going to put them round there because they can shoot at that sentinel thing. We've got one more person who can do something. We'll send them there.
Looking for an angle.
Yeah, okay. Oh, we killed it. Okay, so that's everybody, really. And we are done. So that's going to do what it does because we couldn't really do much about it. There's another nasty slimy things around there as well, which is all bad. And these other things that aren't just a Pandoran nest, is a Pandoran hatchery, which is very difficult, and there's a citadel as well later on. So these things upgrade. Okay. I've never found that. I mean, there is a kind of stealth mechanic in this with these guys, because the higher their stealth rating, the less they're going to be spotted, and but it's not stealth as you would think of it in XCOM, where you can have an suit that hides you and you can be unrevealed to the enemy until you reveal yourself. It's not that kind of thing. I've never found it really useful. Maybe it is, maybe I've just not paid enough attention to it. So here we go, we've got a whole load of options here. There's something there, that person might sort of shoot it because there's not much point in them running around when we've got 2 shots, because you get 2 shots with the assault as long as you don't move. So that thing's looking pretty dead. Let's check out how dead it's looking. It's still going to live, we'll have to shoot it again at some point. Then we've got that one, we'll kill that. And then we'll shoot that. Okay, so that's not bad. Then we've got the heavy that we set up to do that. Shoot that thing, and let's just see, just for information purposes, it's okay, it's lost 140 odd of its points of 340, so that's not bad, but like I said, it takes more than a couple of shots to kill it. There's a thing round there. I'm not sure if we'll get a good shot on it. Oh, I don't like that shot at all. That's that thing that kind of disappears and appears, so we'll overwatch it. Then we've got this person, same again. We'll just put somebody there to overwatch that. And when we've moved next, we have our sniper, I think. Now we've got the heavy, it's still saying they can shoot but they can't.
Firing
And we've
target.
got a shot on that, but I would rather move our sniper to here so we can shoot that sentinel, because basically the mission won't end till you kill that. So it's like a lot of missions in a lot of games, you need to concentrate on the objective, because otherwise you'll just bend, like it says, the Pandorans keep spawning in, so you'll just keep fighting off Pandorans the whole time. You have to kill those sentinel things, and once they're dead then you're done. So we've got a shot on that, and like I said, I would always use snipers or heavies on them. That's good. And we've got a heavy. Well, actually, she's got a. You might as well use the handgun. That you never know. You never know if a handgun can do that much. Not quite. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's good. And what we know now is that there's more than one, because otherwise that would have been the end of the mission. You don't usually have to evacuate from these missions, so the fact that the game's not taking us to the home screen tells us there's another one. Now we've just got to find it. Yeah, okay. You don't want hatching things. All these slimy little things in this game, these tiny things, that's bad. They can be those things I think I showed you before, called mine fraggers, that jump onto you and take over people, and there's a whole lot of horrible little things, worms, and actually they can be more troublesome than you might think. For example, I was playing my own, not the video game, which I'm much further along, yesterday, and one of the things that happened in that is those worms, these poison worms, these fire worms, and what happens is if you've got one of those launch Pandorans at a distance, and there's sometimes more than one, they keep firing worms. It's very hard to keep tracking and killing 3 or 4 worms each turn. Sometimes it can be more than that if there's 2 things launching them while you're fighting other Pandorans. And those fireworms, what they'll do is they'll literally explode, and they can end up setting fire to the whole area you're in. So literally every single person you have in your squad is on fire, and that can be very problematic, because that's not what you want at all. So we're going to send our sniper a little bit along there, because we know we're going to have to go that way at some point. So yeah, all those things, they can cause the most problems, I would say. I mean, obviously the Pandorans that kill you can cause problems, but those small mine fragger things taking over your soldiers, I've had missions where these 3 or 4 of them suddenly come from nowhere and they take over 2 or 3 of your soldiers, and then it's very hard with 2 or 3 people taken over to shoot those things off the faces of them with 2 or 3 remaining soldiers. And those worm things, they can be very annoying. So I think okay. So now we're going to try and find where the other Pandoran sentinel is. We don't know. So it's basically a question of sending someone round and guessing. That's kind of what it is. You sort of think they're coming from round there, there's a bit there that might go through, and you're kind of guessing it's going to be over there. I think everyone's had their turn. Heavy, okay. So we're going to send our heavy that way, because I'm more convinced that there's going to be an opening there if it's round there. And what you can end up doing is, if you send your, especially the ones that move slowly, like the heavy, the wrong way, say that didn't go through and there's a wall, then we're going to run all the way back. So, okay, that's the end of that turn. These nest missions are more matter of fact, I'd say. They're kind of a bit less fun, because you know exactly what you've kind of got to do, and it's really kind of like a search and destroy. I can't say that I ever think, hey, this is great, that I really look forward to. I look forward to some of the other missions, some of the Haven missions and the other ones, but these are a bit irritating, because there's always lots of, maybe in a bad way, that's going to die. Bleeding 20, hit points 19. It's always worth checking those kind of things, because you can not bother running. I would have run around to kill that, but I didn't need to. See, I find these missions irritating, but again, it's all, you know, it's what it is. Someone else might play these and think these are the most exciting missions imaginable. But personally, when I do these, I was like, oh, I've got to do another one. When they get harder or they upgrade, there's a thing, like I said, there's a thing called a Pandoran hatchery, and those ones, and they're more interesting, they're more difficult, they're more interesting, and there's other resources that we haven't come across yet that you can, I'm just moving everyone down there, assuming it's going to be down there or maybe in there, which you can end up doing and looking silly because then you find it's not there, it's the other way, but yeah. Yeah, there's other resources that we've not come across yet, which you get from those kind of places, so they're good to do because these resources you're not used to. Resources you need to get what they probably call exotic weapons in other games. That's not what they call them in this game, but that's kind of what they are. Another thing in these, and I've shown you just this is a pretty simple early on one, is you have two options really. One's died. You have two options. You can send different groups of soldiers or separate soldiers in different directions, hoping to find where this second thing is, or sometimes both of them, because that one was very apparent early on. I mean, it could be one down there, we don't know. And it can save time, but then if you split your force and you run into a sentinel with just half your force, the other force are a long way away. So it's a question of spending a lot of time running about, or did that go through? I can't tell. I'm not sure. I want to know if that goes through. We'll overwatch it. And as you can see from what I'm doing, and I've played these a lot, there's not really any way to be sure where you're needing to go. I mean, you know, that's not bad. I've sent my man, so that's not bad or good. That's how it would be, I suppose, in a real mission when you're looking for something. But yeah, that's why I'm not in love with these as missions. Not in love with them in the sense that the game is bad. That's just my personal preference. I'm not in love with these missions because there's so much of it is just literally running around trying to find the thing. And I have played these when I've literally had to run all the way around to a place like this. It probably happened now just to show you. And the thing I've wanted has been completely opposite direction. I've missed, because you can see it's very dark. And if there was something in one of these corners, you can't see an opening, and I've run all the way across the area just to find out later that it was there. So you can see there's a whole load over there. Could easily be there. I don't know. So we're doing a professional level sweep of the area.
Let's go.
And by that I mean we're running around without any clue where we're going, hoping to run into this nest thing. And again, see there's more there, it could be there, that could be something, that could just be a Pandoran, we don't know. So you kind of have to
Here I come.
just go in every direction you can. That's everybody. And it's a bit of luck, not the actual killing the things, but when you find them I don't know where that came from, was hiding. It's a bit irritating. That thing that they do where they've got their claws and they look like they're trying to tickle you, early on, like now, that can look kind of funny, and it doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but later on, and some of the others, they can kill you doing that in one kill almost, so in one hit. So it's something to be avoided. All contact with Pandorans, actually, physical contact is a thing to be avoided. So we're going to go that way, and I'm going to assume that the thing we want is there. You have to take a guess. You have to kind of think, is it going to be there? I'm going to send someone there because it would be very irritating to have come round here and, yeah, probably not going to be there. But once you get there, you might as well send someone just into the corner. So maybe it's going to be here. And as I said, a lot of this type of mission is this, running around trying to find the thing. Where the Pandorans come from is no indication of where the nest is, because they come from these spawn points. So they can be anywhere. They don't have to be near the nest. So, and again, this is an early level, and as you've already seen in this mission, I've killed everything pretty fast. So there's no danger of really being. I mean, we can get killed, and just because I said that, someone will probably get killed. But there's no danger of really getting in trouble. But obviously, later on, when you've got things like this and you're running around and around trying to find them, there's a lot of danger of being killed, because the Pandorans are high level, and when you do these things, I usually find it's handy to put someone on a kind of rear guard, because someone's going to, there's one over there, someone's going to come around from behind you. So once you get to a point where you've kind of covered quite a few different angles to check out, it's good to leave someone back. You won't need, as you've seen, you won't need all your assaults to take down a sentinel. So it's always worth leaving somebody further back. I'm not sure if that goes anywhere. That goes back to there, which is kind of where we started. So we're going to take a, I don't know.
On the move.
See, I think it should be there, but who am I to know? No. Okay. No. It's not there because we just went there. So we'll send someone there. There's something around there as well. Something probably unsavoury. So we'll do an overwatch there. Yes, we know we've run out of points. Yeah, and then we've got that one waiting to at least delay that guy. We've got a shot in the head, but we've got, so that's how return fire is very good in this. I mean, again, this is an early on level, so our return fire is equal to anything they've got, but let's just hope it's here. Okay, that looks a likely place, maybe. These areas are quite, as you can see, they're quite large. Again, similar to... okay. Similar to the... there it is. Similar to the cities, I'd say in size. I'd say very, very similar. So now we know where it is. We just want to have all hands on deck. Everyone just needs to leg it. It's the official terminology. Leg it to there, because we're going to want everyone around there to shoot that, because as soon as we kill that, the mission ends. Does that join up? No. Does it? Yeah, kind of. Okay, we'll send someone there. The reason I'm sending someone that way, they probably won't reach there in time, but it means that if a Pandoran comes from there, we've got somebody. And again, we won't need all our assaults to kill that, you've already seen that, so we'll reload and we'll leave that person there in case, don't know which way to overwatch, but we'll leave someone there to cover and wait on their turn. So we're just covering all bases basically. We'll send someone there just in case. Probably unnecessary. We've got our heavy, which we'll be wanting. That one, there's no way of knowing which way something might come from, so we'll just leave them there. This one we'll put
Here I come.
there. We want this one to go there. Just set up as many shots and try and kill it in one turn. Like I said, that's the key to this thing. That one can go there. And then that's going to be enough. And it's done its weird thing, hatching thing. Yes, we know what their goal is. So that's annoying, but we expected it, so we've got our heavy. I would suggest with a heavy, if you're stuck behind a rock and you really want to shoot something, always move round the rock, because often you can find you shoot the rock. And with heavies, because they only get one shot and they're hard to move, you really want to be hitting the right thing. You can't always be sure you hit the right thing anyway, but... So now I'm going to concentrate on that. I know these worms, but we just want to finish that. We got that one, we can get there, that's good. That's going to kill it if we can hit it. Dead. And as you can see now, that completes the mission. So what you will need to do, or what you need to do if you are in a situation where this Pandoran's closing, in any of those nest missions, Pandorans, worms, mind fraggers, is you need, if you can kill the sentinel, the last sentinel, before they attack you, don't worry about killing them. Because once you've killed the sentinels, regardless of how many worms and other assorted things there are wandering about trying to kill you, the mission will end. You don't need to evacuate from the nest missions. You do need to evacuate when you go to the spawneries and the citadels, but you don't need to from the nest, so you can just finish off the sentinels and then the mission ends. So that is a Pandoran nest mission. As you can see, it's early on, certainly, it's not difficult in the level of killing. We killed all the Pandorans that attacked us very easily, actually, and the Sentinels weren't hard to kill. But that, again, is an early on mission, and like I said, the Pandorans and everything they've got, Sentinels, everything upgrades very quickly. So next time we go to a place like that, blah, 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 everyone likes us more because we killed their nest. Fantastic, aren't we great? And New Jericho like us so much they've shared some technology. That's even better. So that was definitely worth doing.
Phoenix Project. A lot of weird science nerds with guns, huh?
Okay, that's some research sharing. That tells you how that works. When they like you more, basically, they can share stuff with you. Or later on, when you get to a certain level, you have to do a mission with them first. Each faction, they can align with you as well, if you want. And like I said, you can't really do that with everybody, but you can do it with some, and who you want to do it with will depend on whether you're playing this in a kind of idealistic, who do you agree with way, or whether you're playing it in a kind of, I want that tech, so that's who I want to align with way, and can be both, actually. There you go, there's a new set of things, and as I said previously, there's lots of these things that upgrade all the time. This time is three, later on there can be more, and you know, as soon as you click out of that, you won't remember, unless you've got a much better memory than me, which I'm sure people have, but you won't remember what they all do, what happens with them. And then when you go into the mission, as you've seen, it will usually tell you if anything's upgraded further, and you can click on them and see what they are. So you can read those for information purposes, but you probably won't remember. It's worth looking, especially if there's a whole new type of Pandoran, because sometimes they can offer a whole new challenge, but each one upgrading an arm or upgrading an ability, you won't remember it all. So yeah, that's that mission done. Killed a nest. Nest is dead. It will say there, destroyed Pandoran nest, is now no Pandoran structures, and we've done what we set out to do. And like I said early on, those things are pretty simple. So anyway, we'll end this now, because those Pandoran nest missions, like I said, long for what kind of happens. The amount of gunplay, which was pretty simple, especially early, and the amount of killing is quite straightforward. It's just finding the things to kill. And trust me, I spent longer than that running around looking for a sentinel to kill before. Anyway, thanks for watching. I think next time, just to take a break for one video, I'm going to play a video of XCOM, an XCOM mission. It won't be, I'm not going to do an XCOM video of how to play XCOM, because I'm sure that anyone who's played turn-based games is aware of XCOM, XCOM 2, all the XCOM, and it's been covered loads, so I'm not going to do that. But what I'm just going to do is play just anywhere in a mission. It might be from War of the Chosen, it doesn't matter, just so I can show anyone who's not ever played it how it looks, and then you'll be aware, and I can make comments on how it compares to these other turn-based games that I've been talking about, where I always mention XCOM, if that makes sense. So anyway, thanks for watching. Just one little video of XCOM next time to give you a heads up of like what I think is better or less good, and compare it to these other turn-based games I've been playing, and then I'll come back to some more Phoenix Point probably. Anyway, thanks for watching, take care.